All right, the Army Single Face Acquisition Business website. Single Face Industry Acquisition Business website. The Army Single Face Industry Manual Solicitation Posting Guide, March 2015. The table of contents, introduction, accessing, manual solicitation, posting, authentication requirements, manual solicitation entry, choose a solicitation type, choose a contractor office, choose the enter solicitation number, enter the solicitation number. Enter the solicitation number, enter the solicitation information, solicitation review, solicitation confirmation, documented, uploaded, documented, uploaded guidelines, file uploaded, confirmation, alternate file upload process, ASFI solicitation, shirt, amended solicitation, drafting solicitation, special notes for drafting solicitation, restricted assets, excess solicitation, restricted as solicitation, entry, choose a solicitation type, choose the contracting office, enter the solicitation number, enter the solicitation information, solicitation review, solicitation confirmation, documentation, upload guidelines, file uploaded, confirmation, managed vendor notification, government buyer access, restricted access solicitation, amended restricted access solicitation. Um, this is the Introduction. The guide is intended for the Army contracting personnel as provides information with the using a manual solicitation posting process of the Army single face to the industry application. The post solicitation of the Army single face industry website application acquisition website. Government personnel must first register and approve for the posting. Refer to the ASFI government user registration guide for the additional information on obtaining approval to use the manual solicitation posting capability. You will be able to use the Common Access Card or CAC to access the feature of the you are approved for the Office of the Army Single Face Industry Site Administrator. When posting a manual solicitation, you first enter the specific information regarding the solicitation. You then upload the solicitation documentation to the ASFI Army Single Face Industry. All solicitation data entered in the Viva the manual solicitation posting process is hosted centrally at the ASFI Army Single Face Industry website acquisition. Solicitation data required for the electronically extensive external source of the procurement achievement document data system will adapt the Army single face industry website acquisition website. The solicitation view. The solicitation will provide a link with the local contracting site of the solicitation document as are housed. The manual solicitations are identified as either a final or a draft. The final option to issue the final solicitation of any subsequent amendments. The final option is to issue your final solicitation and any subsequent amendments. The draft request for proposal is not a formal solicitation tool, rather is used to gather the comments, suggestions, potential offers prior to the release of the final solicitation. It is designated to reduce the proposal preparation evaluation time and promote the clear understanding to industrial requirements within the goal and the more effective and less costly contract. The draft request of the proposal should not be used without a drafting state of work or technical requirements of documentation. If you choose the draft solicitation, you may choose a final solicitation under the same solicitation number as the later date. The date of draft solicitation is not allowed once a final solicitation has been posted. If your contracting officer elected the question and answer features as feature of the Army single face industry website acquisition website, vendors may use the Army single face industry acquisition website to post questions or final solicitations. The question and answer features always are available for the draft solicitations. Vendors are not able to bid on draft solicitation. See the section of the draft solicitation for more information. More solicitation posted on the Army single face industry access using the contract opportunity search link of the Army single face industry homepage. Solicitation displays while they are open for the 5 days past their close. Solicitation displays they are open and for 5 days past their close date. Solicitations that are identified as restricted may only be accessed by the vendors identified by the solicitation point of contact. See the section restricted access solicitations for more information. If the pre-solicitation exists, the federal business opportunities for the final solicitation posted by the Army single face industry, the federal business opportunities site will be updated with a link of solicitation data of the Army single face industry web acquisition website. If no pre-solicitation exists, the solicitation information will be only available to the vendor's Army single face industry site will not be forwarded to the federal business opportunities. If special note exists for the federal business operators, if a special note exists for the Fed business ops for a draft solicitation posted in the Army Single Face Industry and the Federal Business Opportunity website, will be updated with a link of the draft solicitation data on the ASFI. If no special notices of the draft solicitation information will only be available to the vendors on the ASFI Army Single Face Industry and will not be forwarded to the Federal Business Opportunity ops. Change of the proposed solicitation may be made by using manual solicitation posting processes. Changes are applied to the amending of the solicitation. Solicitation may be also canceled by using the manual solicitation process. The solicitation attachments may be all added, deleted without amending the solicitation. Vendors may use the Army Single Face Industries vendors notification to request email notification solicitations that may interest them. The vendors are notified based on the selection of the National North American Industrial Classification System codes and contracting offices. When you post an amendment, the solicitation vendors are applied to notify them of your actions. Only vendors that have been granted access, restricted access solicitation are notified when they are restricted to access solicitation or amendment is posted. Accessing manual solicitation posts. The Army Single Face Industry Acquisition Business website for government personnel for the ASFI homepage acquisition.army.mil stands as this. It pretty much looks like this. The Army Single Face Industrial Acquisition website government personnel menu, selecting this manual selection under where the little arrow shows under the solicitation process is manual solicitation posting. Authentication requirements. If prompted, choose the appropriate digit certification. Avoid the common access code. After your common access code is authenticated, your permission to post solicitations via the Army Single Face Industrial Acquisition website is verified. If you were registered as a common access code, a common access code, but you have not registered or been approved at the local Army Single Face Industrial site of point of contact for manual posting, you may receive a message that you first register. Refer the Army Single Face Industrial Government Users Registration Guide for additional information to obtain an approval for the manual solicitation posting feature. Manual solicitation entry. Choosing the solicitation type. Review your profile, and select the update of your profile. Link in the changes needed. Select the appropriate button to indicate that you are posting a draft solicitation. The default is no. Your current user profile, your name. In this case, it was Ashley Fingrace, Ashley .fingergrace.usarmy.mil, phone, and DSN and fax if you were provided. And as you're posting a drafting solicitation, the default is no. Choosing the contracting office. You will be able to select the listing of the contracting sites that approve the post for selecting appropriate office. Choosing the site that you will manually post the solicitation for ASFI testing contracting site. Your site for solicitation. Enter the solicitation number. After you've selected the contracting site, you must be prompted to enter the solicitation number you are posting. Enter the solicitation number as you are manually posting. Maximum 13 characters allowed for the PIA solicitation number. Do not use dashes or hyphens in your solicitation number. Solicitations may consist of an alphabetic characters and numeric digits. Note that the Army Single Face Industry Acquisition website allows you to enter 13-digit solicitation numbers. Do not enter the solicitation number with a dash or other special characters. Only alpha characters and numerical can be entered in the field. When posting a drafting solicitation, do not enter draft as part of the solicitation number. Instead, use the 13-character solicitation number you plan to use for your final solicitation. After entering the solicitation number, click Continue. Entering the solicitation information. At the ASFI, Army Single Face Industry Acquisition website will determine the solicitation number entered in the equals new solicitation with the Army Single Face Industrial System or in its amendment to existing solicitations. If the solicitation exists, the data existing solicitation will be displayed. For instance, ASFI the test is 222. Then you fill out your solicitation, your hubs, your set aside, your federal codes, your national identification codes, your descriptions, your nouns, your solicitation number, effection date, the amendment, and information, your buyer information, and your close date. The amendment number will display as a four zeros for solicitation not found in the ASFI application. For new solicitation, leave the amendment number as 4-digit numerical zeros. To indicate your solicitation, a solicitation exists within the Army single-phase industry acquisition website. The existing amendment number will display to amend the existing solicitation increment solicitation by number 1. Buyer information displayed in the basis on the user profile individual log of the application cannot be changed. The buyer information incorrect. If the buyer information is incorrect, click the button until you reach the page that displays your profile and update your profile information before posting your solicitation or your amendment. Solicitation amendment effective dates are double-digit months, double-digit dates, and four-year digit year of the effective date of the solicitation amendment. That is an optional entry. Solicitation status: select the status that codes that provide that is required set aside. Select the code that provides the required field. Forward supply code. Select the codes provided that are required for. The National Identification Code search. You may optional field to enter the National Industrial Classification Code. The number you enter in the National Industrial Classification Code selection field. National Identification Classification Code. If you do not know the National North American Industrial Classification Code, such as the NACIS, you can select the list of the codes provided that is required of the field. Description. Enter the brief description of the supply services being inquired. You may enter the predominant CLIN description in the field, and this is required to field maximum 65 characters. With a maximum of 65 characters. The close date. Enter the solicitation close date. The required, unless you are canceling solicitation, must be a current and future date, and cancellation. It must be a current or future date. If you're canceling the solicitation, this date will be set today's date automatically. Click Continue button to review the entry. Your solicitation review. Review the solicitation information for the correctness. Use the back button to return the solicitation entry into the needs to correct your entry. Otherwise, click the submit button to the post button to post your solicitation. Once your solicitation data is posted, you will need an issued amendment to change the information as you initially provided. Please review the data submitted by the Army Single-Phase Industrial System. The solicitation number, the amendment number, the buyer information, the solicitation amendment effective date. The solicitation status is in 1 through 5. Set aside your federal supply code, your National American Industrial Classification Code, a description of 9 up to 65 characters, and a close date, your month and date of the year. Solicitation. Once you submit your solicitation confirmation notice, your pre-solicitation exists under the solicitation number. Your solicitation will transmit to Federal Business Operations. Once you submit your solicitation, a confirmation notice of the pre-solicitation exists under the solicitation number. Your solicitation information will transfer to the Federal Business Opportunity number. Your solicitation will be transmitted to the Federal Business Ops and may be reviewed when clicking on the following link. Review print. Review and print the posting of the FBO for your records, and no confirmation email will be sent to you. Your solicitation header has been posted on the Army Single Phase Industry and the Federal Business Opportunities. Thank you. If the pre-solicitation does not exist on the solicitation number, your solicitation information will not transmit to the Federal Business Opportunities. Vendors will be able to view your solicitation only on the Army Single-Phase Industrial website. Completing solicitation. This is a data post of the Army. Complete the manual posting of the process. You may upload the solicitation and attachment on the Army Single Phase Industrial website. You can accomplish the task of uploading the solicitation as the attachment upload area. If you do not complete the attachment upload, vendors will directly contact you each time they need to view the solicitation attachment. The document upload. Your manual solicitation posting of the complete until uploading your solicitation files. Class is attachment of the upload link of the upload of your attachments. Um, Enter the required text description for your file, then use the Browse button on the select of the file upload. Document upload guidelines. The time that the files uploaded may contain the spaces in the file names. For example, the technical exhibit PDF is allowed, but the technical exhibit is not. Except PDF is not. That's a space. There's a space in it. The file to upload the file name must not exceed 40 characters. That does not include the path to the file, only the file name itself. The allowed file type is displayed on the upload page. Upload files should be a reasonable size to avoid time out of the during of the uploading process. Also, vendors with slow connections may be unable to download large files. We recommend the file size less than 30 megabytes. If your files are larger than 30 megabytes, you may want to zip them and break them apart into more than one smaller files. Always use the browser button to select the file upload. Do not type the name of the file in the file upload field. File upload confirmation. When you receive a confirmation of your files that were successfully uploaded, and any failed upload of the confirmation page is identified in the failure. Successfully uploaded technical exhibit and PDF. Would you like to upload more attachments? Yes or no. If your attachments are uploaded, click yes and button and return to the attachment upload page. Alternate file upload process. If you fail to upload an applicable attachment, the uploads they are not applicable to solicitation. You cannot get the Army Single Face Industry Acquisition website, the government buyer options on the solicitation view, and add or delete attachments as necessary. Select the government buyer owners buyer options management attachments. Links from the solicitation view page to access the page may add and delete attachments. Select the appropriate link to each of the add or delete solicitation attachments. This is basically you can delete your upload attachments. The Army Single Face Industry Solicitation Search. Vendors of the Army Single Face Industry Acquisition Business website, contracting opportunity search link from the ASFI Army Single Face Industry Acquisition website page to search for the opportunities. Under the ASFI Business Opportunities, you can search by contracting opportunities search. Their available search criteria are based on the solicitation information entered on the solicitation point of contact when the solicitation was posted. Solicitation search. Most recent posted solicitation that closed today. Solicitation number wildcard is the percentage character. Select your contracting office. Now the national code, your industrial code that you're looking for of your item, or a federal supply code. The solicitation search for the results displays active and draft solicitation for the search criteria specified in solicitation or activity while they were open and for 5 days past their close date. Draft solicitations always display with draft in the first position of the solicitation number field. As you can see, the solicitations that were posted, different dates, closing dates. Basically, they all have the same buyer's information number, the different solicitation amendments, and the closing dates. This is a fake page, I guess. Click on the solicitation amendment number link to access the solicitation view. It shows your solicitation, your DPAS, your price arrangement, solicitation amendment, your response deadline, national identification set aside, issued, contact phone number, fax, email, solicitation questions, and attachments. Note to the industry: start an offer or bid. Refer to the solicitation for the submission requirements. All submissions authorized required. Please proceed. Electronic bid proposal is not authorized. Details will provide a solicitation outlining specific submission requirements. If the electronic bid proposal requirements are not listed, selection in the solicitation, the question regarding the submission and an offer response to the solicitation, contact the contracting specialist named in the solicitation. Amending a solicitation. To amend a solicitation, you follow the process similar to posting your base solicitation. Go to the Army Single Face Industrial homepage at the https://acquisition.army.mil/ASFI/. Click Army Single Face Industrial Government Personnel, the manual solicitation posting. Next, select your contract site. Then the selection then enter the solicitation number you are modifying. You receive the information on the existing solicitation, current amendment, modification number. Continue the next number increment. Amendment number 1. Set the solicitation status as 02 as added an amendment. Made any new changes to the solicitation data. Submit your changes. And use the attachment upload to the next page to upload your amendment solicitation document. If you need to add or delete attachments to existing solicitations, you do not need to issue an amendment instead. Go to https://acquisition.army/mil ASFI solicitation search form CFM. Enter the solicitation number in the solicitation search box and scroll down for the press of the continue button. Click the solicitation number on the following screen to get to the solicitation view page. Select the government buyer options management attachment link at the bottom of the page. Once you have logged in, you will be able to upload and delete attachments. Okay, moving along. Drafting solicitations. Army Single Face Industry Manual Solicitation Posting Features allows you to post draft and solicitations by answering yes to the question, or are you posting a drafting solicitation? Use a drafting solicitation featuring the ASFI Army Single Face Industry acquisition website allows you to use the same solicitation number you are planning to use for the final solicitation. Give you the ability to communicate with the vendors to gather information you need to prepare your final solicitation. Like the final solicitation, you may issue amendments to your draft solicitation. Also cancel if needed. Vendors may post questions, comments in the draft of the solicitation using the question and answer features of the ASFI. Authorized government personnel may provide answers to these questions with the Army Single Face Industry. The drafting solicitation are accessed using the contracting opportunities features available for the ASFI. Hope that the page of both the draft and the final solicitation will be issued the solicitation search result and page listed on the search criteria entered in the search page. The drafting solicitation identified with the draft under slash in the front solicitation number. When the post-draft solicitation, use only 13-character solicitation field. Do not enter the draft as part of the solicitation number when you enter the draft solicitation. The application does that for you. When you have gathered information needed for the final solicitation, you follow the normal process of posting a pre-solicitation followed by your final solicitation. You are not allowed to enter the draft solicitation and the final solicitation already exists for the specified solicitation number. The draft should be issued by the final solicitation. If you were a draft solicitation announced in Viva the Fed Business Opportunities, you should be issued a special notice to announce your draft solicitation. A special notice will transmit the federal business opportunities. Once you post draft solicitation, a link will be drafted. The solicitation documentation will display on the Fed Business Ops website. Special note of draft solicitation. If you wish to announce your draft solicitation on the federal business opportunities, you should post a special note going to the Army Single Face Industrial homepage of the acquisition.army.mil/ASFI. Click the ASFI government personnel of the federal business opportunity announcements promoted by the appropriate digit certificate. Answer the yes to the following question. Do you need special announcements to the draft solicitation modifying the specific notice to announce the draft solicitation? And you can either continue with that or go or back. Next, select your contract site. On the next page, your solicitation number is 13 number will issue the final solicitation number. Do not enter draft in the solicitation number. Once again, use your solicitation number in the draft solicitation number. Please click continue between the special notice information. Note the special notice already exists under the solicitation number. A modification of previous notice type of them may be used to modify existing special notices. Please enter the required special notices for your solicitation number. The class code, your national identification, National American Industrial Code search. Your subject, 236 characters minimum. class code as the first entry into your subject. Maximum of 63,000 characters is allowed. Do not use all caps per fact number that is removed. Please review your data before submitting it to the Federal Business Opportunities. This is a special notice of the Action Class Code and the National Identification Code. The subject to solicitation and the description as a draft solicitation exhibits the ASFI webs using the link provided with the draft solicitation. You should receive a confirmation success failure to the special notice of transmission of the Federal Business Opportunities website. Click the review and print link to access the special notice of the Federal Business Opportunities. If you are ready to post your draft solicitation, click the Enter Draft Solicitation button and the solicitation entry the page display. Notice that they review and print. You get a solicitation amendment number, the buyer and buyer number, the buyer's phone number, name, email, phone, and fax, solicitation amendment, effective date, solicitation status, set aside federal standard code, national identification code, description noun, close date, as follows. Review and submit your draft solicitation data. So you drafted it. A confirmation page will be result in the transmission of the Federal Business Opportunities. Your draft solicitation has been posted in the ASFI Federal Business Opportunities. Use an attachment upload link and upload your draft solicitation documentation. Here's where you can upload your solicitation numbers. Upload files. Restricted access solicitation. A restricted access solicitation is defined as solicitation that is only available to the identified vendor. The solicitation posted using the process will be notified and will be not available for the public viewing. Access to restricted access solicitation based on the identified vendor providing the respective cage code, marketing partner identification number, and Army single-phase industrial provided access code. The posting of the solicitation for the possible subcontracting opportunities of restricted access solicitation should not be used because the potential subcontractors will not have access to solicitation. To post restricted access solicitation, the Army single-phase industrial government personnel must first register and approve for the manual solicitation posting or synopsis posting. You will be able to use your common access code to use the access feature to approve once your Army approved your office of Army single-phase industrial site administrator. If you are already approved for the manual solicitation posting synopsis posting, no additional approval is needed to post the restricted access solicitation. When posting a restricted access solicitation, you are required to enter the specific information regarding the solicitation. Include vendors and vendor email address that will be access to solicitation. The process for posting restricted access solicitation is limited to solicitation that manually created by the upload of the restricted access solicitation process described in the following pages. Vendor granted access restricted access solicitation may be used by the Army single-phase industrial access acquisition website to pose questions, and government personnel may provide answers with the question of the Army single-phase industrial acquisition website. Restricted access solicitation posted by the Army single-phase industrial website. Access to the link and provided by the email vendor that granted the access of the solicitation. To view the solicitation, the vendor must provide a cage code, market pin identification number, and an Army single-phase industrial generated access code. The changing of the restricted access solicitation are applied to the amending of the solicitation. The solicitation may also be canceled by the issuing of the amendment. Solicitation attachments may be added, deleted within the amendment of the solicitation. Vendors and vendor emails may be added and inactivated without issuing an amendment. Vendors are notified restricted areas of the solicitation may be information that will provide to create the solicitation. You must post an amendment solicitation and identify the vendors and email to notify your actions. If a draft or solicitation is posted to the restricted solicitation, any subsequent final solicitation posted under the same solicitation number will be restricted, and if the draft solicitation is posted in public solicitation, any subsequent final solicitation posted under the same solicitation is public as also. One solicitation is posted restricted solicitation, it will not be made public. In post solicitation of the restricted solicitation, it should not be restricted. You will need to cancel the restricted solicitation issue unrestricted and under the new solicitation number. Okay, restricted access solicitation entry. The process entering. All right. Once again, restricted access solicitation entry. The process of entering a restricted access solicitation is similar to the entering the manual solicitation. For an Army single-phase industrial homepage, acquisition.army.mil/ASFI/ click the ASFI government personnel link, which is right here on the side of the ASFI business opportunities. The ASFI government personnel menu, the restricted access posting site. Um, this is the ASFI government personnel. Restricted access per solicitation posting new. If prompted, select the appropriate digit certificate. Choose a solicitation type. Review your personal. Review your profile information. Select the update your profile life and link of if your changes are needed. Select the appropriate to indicate that your solicitation you are posting final or draft. The default is final. Okay, so your default is final. So choose the contracting office. You are able to select the linking contracting site that approved the post and select the appropriate office. Select your posting solicitation office. Enter the solicitation. Enter the solicitation number. After you select the contracting site, enter the solicitation number you are posting. Note that the ASFI allows 13-digit solicitation. Do not enter a number or dashes or other specific characters. Only alpha characters and numeric digits can be entered in this field. When posting a drafting solicitation, do not enter the draft as part of the solicitation number. Instead, use a 13-character solicitation number when you plan on finalizing your solicitation. Entering your solicitation, click the continue. Enter solicitation information. The Army Single Phase Industry Acquisition website application will determine the solicitation number entered equals the new solicitation within the Army Single Phase Industry system. It is amended to the existing solicitation. If the solicitation exists, then the data exists solicitation will display. The identifying the solicitation is restricted for the original solicitation posting. Subsequent amendments, if posted, will be restricted automatically. If the draft solicitation exists, a subsequent final solicitation posted under the same solicitation number will inherit the restriction properties of the drafting solicitation. And so amendment number. The amendment number will always display as a 4-digit zero for the four-digit numerical number standing at 000. For a solicitation not found in the application. For a new solicitation, leave the amendment number at the 0000 to indicate the base solicitation. If your solicitation exists within the Army Single Phase Industry, the existing amendment number will display. To amend the existing solicitation, increment the solicitation number by 1. So that means add 1 for any of the amended existing solicitations. Buyer information. The buyer information displays this page of the use profile individual logged. The application can be changed. If the buyer information is incorrect, click the back button to reach the page that displays your profile and update the profile information before using your solicitation amendment. Solicitation amendment effectiveness is in double-digit months, double-digit days, 4-digit years for your solicitation. Enter the effective date of the solicitation amendment or the amendment. This is an optional entry. Solicitation status. Select the status code provided that's required. Set aside. Set the codes provided that are required. Federal standard code. Select the code provided that required. National Industrial Classification Code. Optional field entry to the NAICS code. The number is issued in the NAICS is selection field. The national identification code is, if you do not have a national identification code, select the NAICC. You can select the list of codes provided with the required field. Description, enter the brief description of the supplies and services being acquired. You may enter the predominant claim description in the field, the required field of the maximum of 65 characters. The close date, enter the solicitation close date of the required field unless your cancellation of the solicitation must be current of a future date. If your cancellation in the solicitation, that will be set to the date automatically. Click the continue button to review the entry. Review solicitation for correctness. Using the back button to return the solicitation entry page. If you need to correct your entry, otherwise the click submit button to the post solicitation. Once your solicitation is posted, you will need an issue an amendment to change the information you are initially provided. Note the access to the solicitation is restricted to the name of the vendors. The buyer information shall be based on the buyer that are currently logged into the system. The buyer that will or will be the point of the contact needed to entry this modify this solicitation. Solicitation number, status, set aside. The amendment is to set aside the financial identification codes, description, nouns, close dates. Solicitation confirmation. Once you submit your solicitation, the confirmation notice below. You'll see a manual process of uploading the solicitation attachment to the ASFI. An attachment upload and the attachment processes of if you do not complete the attachment uploads, you will be directed to contact each time by the view of the solicitation. The solicitation names the vendor manage view the notification to made and identify the specific email accounts that they can access in solicitation. This solicitation. To complete restricted solicitation posting processes, you must upload your solicitation attachments identification vendor who may access the solicitation. Both steps are necessary to complete with the solicitation posting. Step 1. Click the upload link. Document the upload. Your manual solicitation posting is not complete until the upload of your solicitation file. The attachment upload link to upload your attachments. Like here you see your attachment upload solicitation attachments. Enter the required text description of your file, then use the browser and the select of the file upload. Documentation upload guidelines. The files uploaded may not contain spaces files name. For example, technical exhibit PDF is allowed by the technical dash. Space exhibit is not allowed. The file uploaded file name may not exceed 40 characters that do not include a path file on the file name itself. The allowed file types are displayed up the upload pages. Upload files of responsible size, avoiding time during uploading processes. All vendors that show content actions may be unable to download large numbers. We are full size 30 megabytes files. If you have 30 megabyte files and you want to zip them, break them apart into smaller files. Always use a browser between selecting the files upload. Do not type the name of the file in the file to upload the field. File upload confirmation. Your confirmation files will successfully be uploaded. If you fail to upload, the confirmation page will also identify the failure. Please review the attachment uploaded below. Would you like to upload attachments ASFI? If your additional attachments upload, click yes button between the return of the upload page. Once you complete your attachments upload, you can close the window and return to the solicitation confirmation page to step 2. 2. Click the Manage Vendor Notification link to grant vendor access to restricted solicitation. Okay, manage vendor notification. Cage codes with access solicitation with cage codes with the access to solicitation number. No cage codes have been granted access for solicitation. Submit a new cage code. Email distribution solicitation number. No email address have been defined for the solicitation number. An email address for solicitation number cage codes. First, identify the cage code of the vendors who will access the solicitation. Who will have access to the cage codes of vendors who will have access to solicitation. You may enter up to 5 cage codes at a time, but the new limit of the total number of the cage codes can not define. Enter the cage code must have active profile. The SAMs, each cage code must have an active profile in system award management. If you if you have entered an invalid or inactive cage code, your message will be at the top of the page with the submit a new cage code button. Next, entering the email address associated with the cage code. First, select the cage code from the list of the active cage codes associated with the solicitation. Then type the email address from the vendor. When you have completed entering the email address from the selected vendor, press submit a new email address and notify the vendors. For instance, they have 5 different cage codes. You can get the cage codes from a certain website, or you can get it asking them. Once you click the new email address notify the vendors button, email is granted the email address. The email will notify the recipient of access. Solicitation granted includes instructions, solicitation, and personnel access to provide an email must be entered by the vendor along with the vendor cage code, PIN number, and before solicitation be reviewed. After completion of identification cage codes and email address, you can review your vendor notification data. Manage vendor notification data. You may inactivate cage codes in the email address if necessary. Add an active cage code. All associated emails are inactivated when an email address is inactivated. An email is sent to the affected email address, say even if the access has been removed. An inactive email address is subsequent made active. A new personal access code to generate the email is submitting addressing providing solicitation access instructions. All emails generated through the process are set by the solicitation point of contact email address, and the solicitation point of contact is copied by the emails generated. If the vendor email fails, if the vendor email delivery fails, for example, the email address entered is incorrect, the solicitation point of the contact should receive an email failure notice. In this case, though, you should determine the correction vendor and add it to the email access list. You should access the incorrect email so further notifications will be sent to it. Your subsequent amendment, the restricted solicitation vendors will activate the address and will notify the new amendment as posted. A government buyer access to restricted solicitations. To access restricted access solicitation, going to the ASFI homepage to the acquisitionarmy.mil-ASFI, click the ASFI government personal restricted access solicitation vendor notification, which is under the solicitation process of the ASFI government website personnel. After you accept the consent of the solicitation you wish to begin, you enter the solicitation number, the solicitation search field on the pick the solicitation and check the solicitation drop-down list. Click the Continue button to go to the solicitation view page. Use the government buyer option, manage the options, question answers, vendor notification, learn to perform the indicated actions. Uploads and downloads. This is your basic solicitation view. Government buyers of solicitation, government buyer options of solicitation. You can add, remove, attachment, view, answer vendors' questions, submitting the restricted solicitation, manage vendor notification information for information, adding an attachment for the alternative file upload process, selection for interview, reviewing, answering questions, and refer to the selection question and answers and guide available to the Acquisition Army Mill as ASFI FAQ, and manage vendor the notification linked, activated and active code emails as discussed previously. This is the managed vendor notification. It shows your cage code with the company and the activity and the cage code for solicitation numbers of your solicitation number, email distribution to the solicitation numbers with the cage codes and their email address. An email address, the solicitation numbers and emails, cage codes and email addresses. You may inactivate cage codes, email addresses if necessary. If you inactivate the cage code, all associated emails are inactivated. If your subsequently restricted solicitation vendors will actively email addresses notify the new amendment has been posted. Amending a restricted access solicitation. To amend solicitation, you follow the process similar to posting your web-based solicitation. An Army single-phase industrial acquisition website homepage at acquisition.army.mil/ASFI. Click the ASFI government personnel, the restricted access solicitation. After you receive the consent of the banner, select your contracting site, enter the solicitation number. You enter the modifying. You receive the information, existing solicitation, current amendment notification. The next page, incrementing the amendment number by 1 and set the solicitation status to 202 amendment. Make the need to change the solicitation data. Submit your changes. Use your attachment upload. Next to upload your amendment solicitation data. You may use the management vendor notification and add your inactive vendor cage codes and email addresses. And that was the Army Single Phase Industry for a Manual Solicitation Posting Guide.